Dear Greg, my girlfriend, Maria, and I have been together now for more than 4 months, and we get along great, except for one thing. She has 2 little kids, 6 and 8. They're not babies. They could easily be left with a babysitter, but somehow she thinks they need her all the time. So she stays with them, which means that if I want to spend time with her, the kids are there. But it gets lots worse than that. All they have to do is whimper, and she jumps up and does whatever they want. They can't tie their shoes or cut their food, even put on their clothes without her help. It's unbelievable how she hovers over them. So I hardly get any time alone with her. I don't see how we can make this relationship work with these kids.
If you continue in the relationship as it is now, you're right, it won't work. It would be awful. Your girlfriend is what I call a fireman, or perhaps in today's environment, what we would call a fire person. She puts out fires, and she puts out whatever fire bothers her most at any given moment. Now, putting out some fires is important, but if that's all you do, you never actually build anything. All you do is move from one crisis to another. It's a lousy way to live. The lives of emotional firemen are entirely ruled by fear. They're constantly afraid that if they don't do something, if they're not fixing something, things will get out of control or something bad will happen. In Maria's case, what she fears more than anything else is that her children won't like her. She's afraid that if she doesn't do what they want all the time, they might get mad at her and withdraw their approval. Regrettably, she is missing the entire point of parenting. By responding to every single whine and complaint, she doesn't understand that she's not being more loving. She's just trading imitation love with her children. And that's really sick and hurting both the children and her. She gives them attention and sympathy and whatever else they want, and they give her a feeling of importance and value and power. In addition, she's actually training them to be victims. She's teaching them that every time something is difficult, the world is just too hard. The world is unfair. And the only way out of that is to call for mommy to save them. It's a truly horrible lesson that she's teaching them. If you continue a relationship with this woman, you'll only experience more of the same that you have now. It will get worse. If you marry her, it will become a nightmare because it will come down to a contest. Who can act like the bigger victim, you or the kids? They will fall down on the floor, crying and screaming that they need mommy's help. They can do that night and day. They'll never get tired of it. Can you do anything to equal that act? I doubt it. And she's known them far longer than she's known you. They came out of her womb. She can divorce you in a second. She's not about to let these kids go. So, if she absolutely has to make a choice about spending time with you or the kids, take a guess about which way she will go. You will lose. So, should you give up and walk away? Maybe. If your relationship with her is just beginning to develop, that's a very real consideration. What you've described is a huge obstacle in a relationship. But if you have strong feelings for this woman and you think an unconditionally loving relationship really is possible, then there are some things you could do. And we'll talk about those in our next session.